Unit 2, Presentation 1, the Maryland Parole Commission. The Parole Commission is an agency within the Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services, DPSCS. It consists of 10 members, including a chairperson. Commissioners are appointed for 6-year terms by the Secretary of DPSCS with the approval of the Governor and the advice and consent of the Senate. Being a parole commissioner is not a political role, but commissioners are required to have a background in law, sociology, psychiatry, psychology, education, social work, or criminology, and to be residents of Maryland. It is a full-time paid position. There are 2 tiers of law to consider when looking at the powers and procedures of the Parole Commission. The first is the primary legislation, which is made by the General Assembly of Maryland, and which establishes and governs the Maryland Parole Commission. That primary legislation is found in Title VII of the Code of Maryland. The Code of Maryland is a compilation of the statutes in effect in Maryland, organized by subject matter. Under Title VII, the Parole Commission is empowered to make secondary legislation in the form of regulations to govern its own policies and activities. Those regulations give more details than the primary legislation, which is just a basic framework. They are found in Title 12, Subtitle 8 of the Code of Maryland Regulations, known as COMAR. COMAR is the official compilation of all administrative regulations issued by agencies of the state of Maryland. The COMAR regulations and amendments to those regulations are prepared by the Parole Commission. COMAR, as well as the Code of Maryland, can be found online. Insofar as you find any discrepancy between the two, it is the primary legislation which governs. Here is a cast of characters you will encounter if you're serving as a parole advocate or preparing for a parole hearing. As well as the 10 parole commissioners who we've already mentioned, there are the hearing officers. They are employees of the Parole Commission and they hear the less serious cases. As a general rule, cases where the person doesn't have a life sentence or cases in which the crime did not result in anybody's death will be heard by hearing officers, but they don't make decisions, they only make recommendations, which then are given to commissioners to review and either approve or disapprove, and that process will go over more in the next presentation. Another set of employees of the Parole Commission are the institutional parole agents, and these are the people who go into the prison and serve the parole-related paperwork. That will be the formal notice of the parole hearing, and then after the event, the formal decision will be served by them. So if you are facing a parole hearing, you can expect to encounter an institutional parole agent. And finally, let's mention case managers who don't work for the Parole Commission. They work within the prison. They're a kind of social worker. Each person in prison has an assigned case manager, and case managers have some very specific roles to play in respect of parole, which we shall cover in a later presentation.